All right, my friends. So today you're going to be planning your board game. So, in order to get started for this, I want you to be doing some thinking about some board games that you've played in the past. What are your favorite types of board games? What gets you excited? Now, for this project, you can come up with a brand new board game that nobody's ever played before. That's cool. But if that's a little bit daunting, if that's a little bit too much, what you can do is come up with your favorite board game that you've played and make some changes. Okay. What rules would you change? How would you change the board and the art to make it your own? What will the game pieces look like? And how will you make them? Now, everybody's board game is going to be different, and because of this, the requirements for your project might change. So if you have a very simple board like a checkerboard, that's not going to take you very long to make, right? You would take a ruler to a square and just split it up. Maybe add some color, right? But you could do that in 20 minutes. If your board takes you 20 minutes to work on, I'm going to ask you to spend some extra time on things like the game pieces. Or maybe I would ask you to make a detailed instruction booklet or a box to put your game in. We need to find some time and some places where you can put your artistic energy and spend your time working on things like that. But if you are making your own version of something like Candyland, well, Candyland is filled with art and it has a complicated path, and your board might be where you're spending most of your time. This is going to take at least 4 weeks, okay? And if you're spending most of your time on your board, and that's where your artistic energy is being spent, then I probably would not ask you to make a box or to make a detailed instruction booklet. Or I might not even ask you to take very much time making your game pieces, okay? There are lots of ways to make game pieces. And for something like this, I would say taking a small piece of paper, I'll just make a quick little one that obviously isn't going to look as good, right? But you could say, all right, I'm going to play with a gingerbread man. Make a quick little gingerbread man here. And if you fold the bottom of the paper, okay, this could be your game piece, for example, if we could get him to stand up. But if most of your energy is going into the art like that, then something like that would be okay. If very little of your energy is going into the game board, well, then I would say spend more energy creating those game pieces. Get some Sculpey clay from home, or use pipe cleaners and beads to create some really cool little creatures or something that you can move across the board. Okay. Now, what I'm asking you to do today is to just get some planning phases done. So talk about, my favorite game is Monopoly. I want to make Dragon Monopoly. Some rules. Maybe every time you pass, go, collect a dragon egg. Right? So that's a new rule that I'm just making up on the spot here. What are you going to make those dragon eggs out of, Mr. Poulos? Model magic. Cool, works for me. Okay, so, and I would keep going and kind of figuring out how is my game going to be different from Monopoly. Then tell me, what are you going to make? Make a board, pieces, and just a rule sheet. I know that my board is going to take a lot of time. My pieces might take a little bit of time. I'm not going to have time to make a detailed instruction book. I'm definitely not going to have time to make a box, okay? This is going to be my first priority, second priority, third priority. I'm going to work in that order. And then you can do a little sketch on your sheet today. What is your board going to look like, right? Well, Monopoly usually looks something like this, right? I want a big dragon in the middle. Right? This will be where we collect eggs. Maybe if you land on this spot, you can hatch eggs. I don't know. The game's going to be totally up to you. After you have a plan, you've kind of figured out your rules, you know what you're going to be working on, you have an idea for what it's going to look like, well then you can grab a big piece of paper, or if you are at home, you can grab some cardboard or something from the recycle bin. You can use whatever you'd like for this to complete the project. One other quick example that I just wanted to talk to you about. I had a student ask me, can I make Twister? And I said, no way you can make Twister, okay? He said, why? I said, because you're going to need to get a whole bunch of pieces of paper, put them down on the floor, and as soon as you go to play test this, you're going to step on it, you're going to rip it, it's not going to be any good. And he said, well, Mr. Poulos, what if I made Twister on a small piece of paper like this? And it was for your fingers. And I'll make 2 dice out of clay or out of origami paper, and I'll roll them, and it might say, point your finger on red. Roll it again. Middle finger on yellow. Roll it again. Thumb on green. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing it until I can't go anymore, and I want to count how many moves did I get. And I said, that is a really cool idea. But your board's going to take you 10 minutes to make. So where can you put that extra effort? And that would be into making the dice. That would be into making the rule book and maybe even making a box. So I hope that you guys have some ideas. If you want to take some time and brainstorm, I think that would be cool. You are going to be making this by yourself, not with a partner. And I'm going to give you the time that you need to finish this. So if this takes us 4 weeks, if this takes us 5 weeks, that's all good. All right, my friends, let's do our best. If you can hand me in your plan sheet today, that's wonderful. If you get farther along and you actually start creating it, that's even better. Take a picture of your progress at the end of every class and press that draft button. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.